Okay, so a couple of announcements to start with. Obviously, a lot of it's been covered already, but we'll go through that. I'm going to talk to you about the challenge tonight and what you guys are going to build. If you've not got a laptop, feel free to buddy up with someone. And then we'll talk through the prerequisites to help you get set up, and I'll show you some of the capabilities. Now, obviously the aim of this is that you guys get to build something, so we'll set you like parameters of which things you might want to consider, how to set things up, but you guys can go as wild with this as you want, and obviously the best ones will get some prizes. So we have top prize, we have the bonsai Lego, and then we've also got runner-ups of the little Elky toys as well, okay? Right? Okay, cool. So, again, Vitras gave an amazing intro into the DevOps Society. It's why a lot of us are here. Join the Discord server, chat with people, connect, you know. Definitely a good place to be. This is a random one. So, any TypeScript developers? Right, I have a free ticket for TypeScript AI on the 23rd of July. If you... That's paid, but we have a ticket to give away. Take a picture of this. If you email myself and my colleague with a good justification as to why you are the person to get this ticket, you'll be able to get a ticket.
Claude to write the email.
Am I allowed to run it through GPT-0?
Yeah. Their emails will look alike because they all use the same advice.
They're all going to be copy-pasted, aren't they?
Yeah.
Cool.
All the models are
Oh,
performing at the
has anyone not got it? Oh.
It's a good reason just be a front-end developer on the DevOps Society meeting.
No, I'm looking for something more novel than that. But good answer. Cool. So we've already had a nice introduction. So I'm Carly. Got Steve here from Platform Fix as well. We are going to be the individuals running about trying to help you if you get stuck. So old classroom style, wave at us, like raise your hand, ask questions. If something's not working, that's brilliant feedback for me. So tell me if something's not clear from the docs. Again, please tell me. This is how we make this stuff better as well. So what are you building? So the challenge is to work around SRE-based agents. That's the aim of this game, right? Now, if you're working with particular technologies and you want to try and integrate them with Elastic, we will accept that. So if you've been working with any funky agentic frameworks, you know what, we'll accept that as well. But for people who are maybe not doing that, you've got three options. So we've got Elastic Observability, the dashboard tooling and things if you want to create some interesting diagnostics. We've got the agent builder for building your own agents, which actually has an MCP server. So if you wanted to integrate with the MCP server into another app, you could do that as well. And then there's the observability MCP app if you wanted to try and extend it with your own views. If you wanted to do some interesting kind of telemetry and investigation and show us what kind of things you found out from a problematic cluster. These are just some ideas, but you might have better ones, and I want to see those too, okay? So, this is the fun question. Who did the prerequisites before they turned up?
Just finished them now.
That's better than I expected. I was expecting no hands up, so that's good.
The Docker containers. You mean the Docker images?
Yes. So it's fine. I will go through and I'll point you at the instructions. You can start doing the prerequisites once I've finished talking, so do not panic, okay? Also, if you've got another app that you want to instrument and you don't want to use the OpenTelemetry demo we're using this evening, again, that's okay too. The aim of the game is to get interesting data into Elastic and build something cool with it. But you'll all need Wi-Fi. So who has not connected to Wi-Fi yet? Connect to Wi-Fi now, please. Otherwise, this is going to go disastrously wrong. So Elastic London Guest is the network. Password is I am Groot. If you want, with 2 zeros, by the way.
Yeah. It's not L, is what I was doing.
It's not L, it's I am Groot. We love Marvel in this office. Has everybody got that? If not, take a picture and you can connect afterwards. Cool. Okay. I'll take that as a yes. If anyone needs to see it afterwards, we can put it back up, okay? Right. So you will need your laptop. Everyone's got that instruction, I see. If not, buddy up with someone. That's all cool. If you've done the prerequisites, Docker, Docker Compose, Claude Code is required if you want to muck about with the MCP app. And then if you want to do the Kubernetes stuff, which I would recommend, kubectl and minikube. you can use the demo with Docker, but what you'll find is that the observability MCP app in Claude will not give you any useful results because it's not picking up the Kubernetes service name. So just a warning that if you do want to go down the Docker route, you might want to stick to the agent builder telemetry. So let me show you what we're doing. So this is the demo prerequisites that we've talked through, right? I'll flag up the QR code so that you guys will be able to see this afterwards. Let me also move out the way so people can see properly. But again, the things that I've just talked about in terms of what you'll need is there. There's also a link to register for an Elastic trial, and you can create a cluster there in order to basically ingest your telemetry data in. So in order to do that, you'll basically click that link or go to elastic.co alternatively and click start free trial. It's the same link. And then you can sign up whichever way you want. Once you do that, if I log in, you're going to make me log in properly, aren't you? Yes. And go through all of this. You will be presented, if it loads, with something that looks like this, with less things in it. So my recommendation, just create a serverless project. That's probably the easiest way to get started. So just click serverless project, make sure it's an observability one, and then you can just pick observability complete, name it, and then specify which cloud provider and region you want. If you're not sure, just pick a cloud provider and go for something based in London or Europe, and you'll probably be okay. Does that make sense? That'll take a couple of minutes to spin up, so if everyone does that, then you should have a cluster ready. But I have one that I created earlier. Blue Peter style. Right, so, well, I've not had great luck with agentic live demos recently because of non-determinism, so I thought this was a good idea. Right, okay, so what are we going to be observing? We're going to be observing this here. So this is the OpenTelemetry demo. Have people seen this before? Most of us, cool. But there is an Elastic fork of it which makes things a bit easier because it's got a demo script that will connect quickly to the Elastic cluster, so you don't have to start farting about with all the different settings and things like that. So that's again in the prerequisites about creating a fork and going through it and setting it up. So that's in this step here, app setup, okay? But I've got it running locally, as you probably guessed. It is here. So once you get this downloading and running, what you'll need to do is you'll need to add your Elastic endpoint and your API key, okay? Those you can find within your cluster. So if I go back to my org, if I go back to here, if I go to manage for my demo, you'll see that that's the Elasticsearch endpoint and the Kibana endpoint. So you just click and you'll be able to copy them. So that's how you get a hold of those. And then for API keys inside Kibana, if I'm going too fast, please stop me. Just go to this cog and go to API keys and you can create a new key, okay? Right. API keys? Yes, but if you can't find where, again, just ask us, right? So, to get this running, this particular demo, there's actually a script that will help you do it. So you just need to, I've got it running already. So you'll need to start minikube for the Kubernetes option. So you do minikube start, which I've already got running. Once you've started it, it's the demo.sh script is what you're running, and then specify the KAS option. This is in the README for the project, by the way, as well. So if I'm going too fast, you can find it in there. And once you start it running, you'll have it basically running in the background like this. If you want to generate traffic, I'd also recommend putting on the forwarding, but the command will show up inside the terminal for you to do that. The reason that the forwarding is actually quite useful is because in addition to showing the page, you can also utilize Locus to generate traffic for you, right? So I've got this running with 20 users, but you basically click edit, specify the number of users you want to replicate the behavior for, and that will give you traffic without you having to click around inside the application. Does that make sense? Cool. If you want to introduce errors, if you go to localhost/feature, unlike localhost/loadgen, you'll see that this has all the feature flags for the project, which will be familiar for anyone who's used the demo before. So if you want to simulate particular scenarios, you can also do that here. Does that make sense? Cool. So going into Elastic, what are the things that we can do with it? So a few of you might be familiar with this Discover. So obviously you can use this to search for particular logs and activity. This would be a pretty standard thing that most people who've used Elasticsearch or other tools will be familiar with, but that's an option. You can also create your own custom dashboards if you want, either manually or you can with Agent Builder, which I'll show you in a minute. What you'll find as you start ingesting Kubernetes data is it will create some own managed assets dashboards for you as well. So if I go into the overview, nice, I've got data, that's good. It basically shows you dashboard capabilities around what's happening. So if you wanted to create some dashboards, that's an option too. But we did say we wanted to do agentic stuff, right? So if you go to more and you go to agents, this is what you're going to be presented with. So you can actually create your own agent by going into new agent. There's a few that will already be available for you if you want to have a play with those too. And an agent basically comprises of a few different things. It's got a set of instructions that you'll configure. So if I go into edit settings, you'll see that I've got a description, but I've also got custom instructions and it accepts Markdown, so you can actually kind of try and tailor it similar to skills to say this is the purpose of the agent and what I would like it to do. We also have skills. You can either write and include one via add skill, or you can utilize the ones that are already there, but these skills are basically primers for the agent to for the LLM to tell it what kind of things it can do. So there's some pre-canned ones for managing dashboards and creating visualizations and doing investigations that you can have a play with. And if you're wanting to connect up an app to an MCP server and try and invoke these kinds of things as skills and tools, that's also an option as well. When it comes to tools, again, these can be added to a particular agent. You can pull them in from other sources though as well. So in addition to being able to create a new tool, if you go to manage MCP and do bulk import, you can actually connect an MCP server to this and pull and import in particular tools that you want to use. So in Blue Peter style, I imported the GitHub one earlier, which for anyone that's wanting to play with it is this one here, GitHub MCP server. So if you want to get it up and running quickly, you'll need this URL. You also need to create a pat code and add that into the headers as a credential, but it is all covered inside the GitHub MCP README, so you can have a look at adding that in if you so choose. And then you can actually import the particular tools that you want for interacting with GitHub, which might be an interesting thing for an SRE agent. If it detects an issue, maybe it's going to auto-create an issue if something's failed, generate the code change, things like that. So you might be able to do some funky things if you set that up. So going back to managing components, we'll leave that here. Here is one I did earlier. So obviously one of the things you want to show us again when you demo your project would be maybe an interaction with the agent that you've built. So this is an example of one I did earlier. So it's picking up, I've asked it for things like what's the state of my cluster. You'll see what it does is you can actually dive in and say, well, it's called the load skill tool, and it's sent parameters to look for the investigation skill. And then this is the JSON response that's been returned back. So it's got all of the content of the skill. You'll also see that it's ran tools additionally as well. So one called get services, one called get hosts and get alerts. And again, you can dig into these with the parameters and response and you can see the output. But you can do things in addition to actually asking it questions. So here's an example. I've asked it to create a dashboard, which it did. And it looks a little bit like this. And there's no errors, which is also great. I have had a couple of bad runs with this one. Cool. And then, of course, you can ask it to do other particular actions. So you might want to play around and see what things you can get it to do. Again, utilizing the MCP server, maybe connect it to something else. Does that all make sense so far? Okay. Now, the last thing I'm going to show you is this MCP app. So this is the MCP app here. So in order to get this inside your Claude, what you'll need to do is follow the steps here. So the easiest way, you can clone it and run it locally if you so choose. That's up to you. I've found the easiest way to get started is with the quick start instructions, which are here, which is basically download the binary for the app. And then when you open it up, you can add it. So if I go to connectors and observability, so this is what it will present you with. and you just need to add your URL and API keys for Elasticsearch and Kibana, and then you'll be able to actually interact with the app. So the way an MCP app works, I've got, oh no, I know what it is. This is what I have with so many tabs. This is the architecture of it here, right? So what you've got is MCP host is basically you running it within a particular tool. So obviously I've got Claude up as an example, but Cursor, VS Code, these kinds of things. And they will use the skills that have been outlined within the project as well to explain what each of these tools do. So these are the executable portion, and the skills kind of augment and help the LLM understand what each of these tools is for, what parameters to be called with, these kinds of things. But the other thing that makes it different is it actually exposes UI resources, which are just little React components that will actually show within your Claude Code instance or whichever host you're running in, and it will pull in the respective results via a REST API from Elasticsearch. So here's an example I did earlier. So you'll see here, I'm asking similar questions to what I was doing within Agent Builder, but the thing that's different is it's actually generating React views that look a bit like this. So when I asked it, what's the status of my cluster? It's basically explaining, well, you've got 15 services and one pod running. There's no anomalies that it can tell. And it's talked about throughput and other possible actions that I might want to do next, which you can actually click and interact with. When I ask it for other tools, this is where we can dive into the anatomy of what a particular tool does. So you'll see I've asked what services does checkout service depend on. So it's going to call the APM service dependencies tool. It's passing in this request with service being checkout as the parameters, and then that's the response. And off the back of the response, it's rendered something that looks like this. So we can actually see all the dependencies between these particular services. We can see there's an unhealthy one somewhere, and we can start diving in and investigating the radius of what's going on. You can also do actions, but one of the few actions you can do at the moment is ask it to create an alert. So there's a tool for that as well. And what you can do is basically, it asks you some questions at this point. So it asks like what type of alert should be triggered, and then it actually passed in the relevant parameters. It didn't quite get it right the first couple of times. Again, the joys of LLMs, but it managed to figure it out in the end. So I got confirmation that this particular alert has been created. And just for completeness, that's it there. So it has actually been created in Elasticsearch as well. So you can play about with the different operations in terms of reading and analyzing data. You can connect it to different services. You could build an AI on top of it, pulling stuff in via MCP. There's all sorts of wacky stuff you can do with this, which is why we're running this evening. So I think that's the main thing. So what we're going to be doing is hacking from now. So it's about 7 o'clock. We'll finish off about 8:30, maybe 8:40 if people need a bit more time. We'll have lightning demos. So if you have something cool you want to show and want a chance to win one of the prizes, you can come up and show us what you've done. We'll have some judging from myself and Steve and Ben, wherever he's gone. And then we'll close after that. And if people want to go to the pub for a drink, you know, we're in Covent Garden, there's plenty of spots around. If you want to grab food or drink at any point, it's all in the kitchen. Please feel free to help yourselves. The drinks are out. There should be some extra pizza there as well. And if you've got any questions or something, you're struggling to get something to work, wave at me and Steve. Does that sound like a reasonable plan? Awesome. Does anyone have any questions before we start?
Is it possible to get a faster Wi-Fi connection?
No. Are you having issues with the Wi-Fi?
Yeah, I think I didn't download one bit that I should have, which is 50 MB, but with like several of us in the room, I think that Wi-Fi is
So what you could also do if you are struggling with Wi-Fi is there is a start local option to run against as well.
I could actually tether on my phone.
Or you can tether. But if you go to Elastic, so local development installation quick start, you could run that if you want to run something local. The script is quite light, so it shouldn't take too long if you're having issues with the Wi-Fi.
Yeah, I think it's downloading kubectl, and that's taking...
Kubectl will take a while.
So Kubernetes takes a while.
I know.
Yeah, sorry.
The other option is if you've got the OpenTelemetry demo running locally, you could just run it with Docker instead, if you've got that installed on your machine and you don't have to download it.
What was that? Was it one of the images we had to download?
Yeah, it was one of the prerequisite instructions, but see
Okay.
this
I think
OTel.
I downloaded the
Okay, so if you've downloaded Docker and you want to just run it with Docker because Kubernetes is just not playing ball for you, this demo.sh does have a vanilla option if you just specify Docker instead. If you're struggling, yeah, if you're having issues with kubectl downloading, that would be my recommendation. Just the one problem you'll have is that the MCP app will probably not pick up your services because it relies on the Kubernetes service name attribute. But you should still be able to get data in to start playing with other stuff.
Okay. Well,
Okay.
Let me find alternatives.
Cool. All right. Happy hacking, everybody. The prerequisites are on the QR code there, so you can scan it and get started. If anyone gets stuck or anything's not clear, wave.
I'm trying to load Zoom and Zoom's not opening up. Zoom. Come on, Zoom. Where are you? It's just patience, guys. You know, when you want things to work, they don't. What was that?
The code.
Oh, CPF.
Go to share screen.
In Zoom, did you say?
Yeah, so if you go to Zoom and go to home,
Yeah.
share screen.
Share
button.
screen. Oh, okay. You could do that. All right. I got to do allow. Okay. What's the code? C M W K P. It changed, did it?
It did change because I ended the session.
Just follow the description on GitHub.
Cool. Screen's been shared. Guys, listen.
Oh, that one.
We have a demo candidate.
Cool. So, nothing rocket science. I'm not going to show you the steps I did, but we went into this interface and asked, what is your genie called? The elastic genie?
What data have we got?
Yeah, so before that we did some things like we ran this hotel app that actually comes from going through one of those dashboards where you can create your, what do you call it, an ingester, something that sends data, and you run that onto your local instance, and then it starts sending data. In my case, it was sending errors because that's what was incurring. And we also manually added the sample data logs. So we've had like 4 sources coming in. This is not dynamic, unfortunately. And then so we went and asked the genie, what data do you have on our cluster? And said, we've got 4 of these. So I said, all right, why not create a dashboard from it? Something that's easy to navigate. It took some time, and it created this dashboard. And here you see this is still again static. Some of the data is not there. But instead of going through those logs manually, you can now see those logs as a dashboard here. And this is a perfect example of the MCP server sending React components to your page and then connecting those components to the logs that comes from the Elastic ingestion sources. Yeah, it's done a good job of putting all of these. I didn't ask it to put all these graphs, but it figured out these are the best ways to display it. Is that good? That's it?
And we got there, right? So this is my beautiful experience. So I ask him the question, who, just raise your hand who got this beautiful error like me?
Them.
Yeah, no. So
Like any question.
any question. So say, I am beautifully, and it just gonna say that beautiful error again. Yeah, that's it's supposed to fix that, right? And now it works. Magic. That's the reverse.
What did you do?
That's the reverse effect, right? So.
Yeah, or they didn't give you back in like graph.
Okay.
When we asked it to the Hello World program, it didn't say that. You want to take this to headquarters, the screenshot.
Don't worry, I'm going to send the screenshot later.
Yeah, you know what's fascinating is usually you have the demo effect that things doesn't work. That seems to be the opposite today.
Yeah.
So I'm happy. There we go. The error is back.
I mean, it's very complicated.
So why? Shall we leave it there? We don't know. So it seems only if you're beautiful.
Hang on.
If that was a demo, which means create something
There we go.
Oh, this guy.
I'm going to mute it and go. Yeah, sorry, it's just echoing on here. I don't know why it's doing it. Yeah, so I was chatting to Cursor and went through all the three that you suggested, and it said, well, why don't you incorporate all three and try a self-healing SRE agent? So got a couple of agents together, ran through the plan. That's what I've been doing for the last couple of hours. So it says it runs on Claude Code, follows a disciplined incident loop, so detect, diagnose, remediate and verify. Detects problems by querying Elastic through Elastic observability MCP tools. So health summary, error rates, latency outliers and ML anomalies, diagnoses the causal evidence, drills into the failing service. So the novel part that it closes all the way to a safe auditable repair rather than stopping at analyze or a chatbot answer. Detection is cheap. It's what's hard is turning an observability signal into a correct explainable fix with human readable PM. It can also run full autonomously. A watch loop pulls Elastic and triggers the whole detect to fix sequence the moment an incident appears. So the system heals itself with no human in the seat. So for the demo, this is what I couldn't get working. So it would inject a real failure by flipping a flag that makes the product catalog service fail for a specific product. And then within seconds, the error surfaces in Elastic. The agent finds it, identifies it as the root cause, applies the fix, shows the errors, and then the incident resolved before anyone gets paged. So I'll just show you the UI. So these are some of the logs. So it's connected to the cluster. It's got the self-healing flow here. So detect, diagnose, remediate, and verify. And these are some of the things that it's ran through. And then in the log, this was the cluster running there at the bottom. So it did have all the cluster that you had in the repo, but it was taking too long, so I cut it down to like 5 pods, just to give like a little demo. Yeah, and that's it. Thank you.
Can I get the... Hello guys, I'm Vishesh, a student, barely understood most of this, but I tried. So initially I tried to download most of the stuff because I didn't do the homework, unfortunately. But I got the Docker container running. The Git clone was not happening. It was failing after like 19%, probably the internet. But we got some sample data, so I could do a little bit of dashboard magic. Essentially, the idea was to have a live screening on any attacks that could be happening on the server. And so this is a dashboard with key metrics. Ideally, it would be dynamic. And if you could connect all of your live data sources, which you can see explained really beautifully by the AI agent on the left, it would show you all of the metrics. And if anything is flagged, so to speak, if there are too many requests happening with 500 error or 400 ideally, it would flag it, show it to you as a person as the person on call, and then you could prevent the attack from going through. I tried to develop on this a little bit, but I got the magic error. The good thing is I got a tool call with these parameters before, which shows a rate limit. And I think that might have been the main reason, because before the reasoning error comes up, it's a rate limit, and this happened like 2-3 times for me in the tool calls. I think this is the main reason. I don't know if the rate limit is assigned by IP address, and since we are all on the public Wi-Fi, everyone calls it. Okay. Right. Oh. Fair enough. But yeah, that's about it. Web security. Thank you.